Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. Many men wish death upon me. You'd be surprised how many people you think are your friends. You say you trust this person, you trust that person. I can count on one hand how many people I trust, and I don't need the hand. And I don't need the fingers. Today we're going to get into envious, snakes, leveling up, frenemies, idols become rivals. How people really feel about you when you level up. Y'all know I done dealt with it. Y'all know I still deal with it. So let's relive it. I was born poor. Grew up poor. We had what we needed. But we didn't always have what we wanted, you know. Mom made sure that we were fed, we had clothes on our back, we were safe, the bills were paid, and I'm grateful for that. She instilled that in me, you know. But we didn't always have what we wanted. You know, it's 4 of us, so you go out and you want something in the store, you can't get that. We're on a budget. So I know what it is to be, poor and at the bottom. July 10th, 2014, I walked out of prison for the first time in 10 years. I came out with like $6,500 I had saved up. Didn't have anything to my name. I owned a child. Let me rephrase that. I had a son that only knew me through prison visitation and cards and letters and phone calls. But as far as all the things in life that everybody else was out here gaining, I didn't have any of that. Here I am on that day, 34 years old, thinking I'm going to come home. And I've been gone so long that everybody's going to be driving nice cars. They're going to have the picture perfect family and the house in the cul-de-sac. Picket white fence. Nah, I returned only to find out that a lot of the guys that were out there the entire time I was gone were doing worse than me on the day that I walked out. I didn't look at it like that at that moment because I was just so excited to be out, but I see that now. Since that day, I've leveled up more times than I can count. If this was NASCAR or racing, they wouldn't even let me race, with the majority of these dudes because I've lapped them so many times that, we're just in a different circuit. And dudes get mad about that. They do. Since I've been home, I've lost guys that I really, cared about. I thought were my friends. Even though they didn't write me, they didn't come see me. I never really expected any of that because of the things we were into in the streets. You know what I mean? If I wasn't hustling or out there in the neighborhood or wherever, I wouldn't see these dudes because they wasn't coming to where I lived. So they messed with me because we were into the same things. Time moves forward. I start my construction company, start hiring people. Now I got employees. Life is good. Nice house, nice vehicles. Don't do a whole lot of struggling. And the real ones, and there are some real ones out there because y'all still watching me. The real ones were happy for me. The real ones that were around me weren't trying to figure out how they could get in my pocket. They weren't talking shit behind my back. And to all y'all that did, it's all made it back to me. I know what y'all said. But the real ones around me saw me in the company as an opportunity for them to work towards bettering their life. Not see what they could get out of me, but as an opportunity to bust their ass, move up that ladder in life, and give their families a better life. While I've been doing this, I've come across a bunch of different dudes I had to fire over the years and let go that just completely got consumed with the fact that they thought in their mind that everything I had, they should have. Everything I've worked for, everything I've built, While they were out here ripping and running, doing this and that, just like that, they should be able to get. Let me break this down to you. In life, there are workers and there are bosses. Just like once upon a time, there was a king and there was the peasants. I'm not comparing myself to a king. It's just analogies. You have to have workers and you have to have bosses. Everybody can't be a boss. You can call yourself a boss, but when you don't know what to do, the pressure hits, the stress hits, and you're stuck with a situation as you being the boss that you got to figure out. If you can't figure that out, you can't come up with the answer without calling the next man, or you're at a complete loss, you're not a boss. The guy you called is the boss. All right, so enough of the philosophizing and breaking things down. Let's get into some of these stories, man. Let me share some of my life, some of my past, some of my history, and what I know to be true with you guys. Let's get started. So if you're from the streets, and I know everybody watching isn't, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I'm glad y'all didn't have to go through that. If you've been locked up, and I know everybody watching hasn't, that's good. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. You have seen what happens firsthand when somebody elevates, levels up, starts to get some money, or starts to do better than those around them. Y'all have seen firsthand what can happen. I think we've all, the people that come from those type of lives, have a story on somebody they know that was killed behind money, somebody that was robbed behind money, somebody that had more than somebody else ended up becoming a victim because the next man wanted what they had. I've seen this more times than I can count. I was once one of those dudes that if I didn't have it, I would go get it. You know, that's just the sad reality of who I was, man, and what I had become. No shame in my game. I'm not fake. I don't sit here and pretend that I was this great guy my whole life. There was a time when that's what it was. I had a homeboy many, many years ago, man, before I went to prison, named Gary Wooten, out here in Richmond, Chesterfield area. And Gary was getting money with the weed, man. Gary had leveled up. Gary went from nickel and diming and selling quarters to selling weight. Gary had a plug. He was, you know, he leveled up. Everybody pretends, you know, they're happy for you, and some are. But then you got the snakes that you don't always see because you're so focused on what you got going on around you, your plans, the people you deal with day to day, that sometimes we lose sight of the ones we need to keep our eyes on because we trust them. Gary's house was ran up in. Gary's got an autistic son and a daughter. He was there one night. Two dudes he knew decided, you know, these same dudes that smiled in his face. Same dudes he smoked with. Same dudes he used to come get butt off of him. They decided they didn't want to be workers no more. They wanted to be the boss. So we're going to come take this from him. We're going to run up here with guns, lay him down, take all the weed, take all the money, and we're going to roll out. Now we on. We're going to level up. That's not leveling up. That's coming up, but it's not leveling up. They come into the house and they end up, Gary runs to the room, tries to get his gun as they're coming through the door. They open fire. A bullet goes to the wall and hits Gary in the head. Just like that, Gary Wooten's dead. Nobody there but his autistic son and his little girl, which are both very, very small kids. I think the son was in diapers at the time. The daughter was just a little bit bigger. And the dad stretched out in the bedroom floor with a hole in his head, dead, because the next man wanted to try to come along and take what he had, because people had got jealous and wanted what he had. That's one of many stories, rest in peace, Gary Wooten, that goes back to what? Jealousy, envy, and the lack of not knowing how to level up on your own. What can happen in these situations? Both these guys were caught, sent off to prison. Didn't even get a whole bunch of time. I think one was like 17 and one was like 19, maybe a little bit older. But they didn't get no life sentences, and just like that, Gary's life was gone because he had leveled up. With being the tattoo man in prison, I lived a pretty good, I'm not going to say good, I ate good. I had more than most. My box was never empty. You know, I tattooed, I grinded. That was my form of leveling up while I was locked up. As I got better and I got better, the other tattoo dudes in the pod weren't getting work like that. Dudes weren't going to them unless they wanted something like a little name or something, or didn't really care what it looked like. Dudes were more or less coming to me. I was pumping out amazing work, you know, work that stuff you see come out of prison, like, damn, somebody did that in prison. That was the work I was producing. So every week I'm on my grind. I'm in my cell. Dudes are outside having fun, playing basketball, softball, walking the track, lifting weights. And here I am in this hot ass cell with no AC, dripping sweat, and I'm tattooing. I'm grinding, grind mode. Gotta take care of Jay, right? Other dudes who come to me, other tattoo dudes come to me, like, hey, how'd you shade like that? How did you blend that? How did you get this to turn out like this? And I'm one that wants to see others do well as good. Even with construction, I teach people, so in the hopes of one day they'll go out and do their own thing. But these dudes who come to me and I teach them the little tricks I knew, they're still not getting to work like that. They're still not, you know, they're struggling to find somebody to tattoo or somebody that's willing to pay a decent price. And before you know it, I start getting shook down. They're shaking me down. The police are coming in, tearing my cell up non-stop, going through everything. They got me cuffed, standing outside the cell. Now, this is happening 2-3 times a week. And this goes on for months until the point that they catch me in the middle of tattooing. And the reason for all that was guys become envious. They become jealous. If they can't do what you're doing, they'll try to eliminate you, get you gone, get you out the picture, because I get jammed up. I go to the hole. Now everybody's coming to them for the tattoos again. I no longer matter because I'm out the picture, right? That's life in general. Why do you think when people make it in life or they get somewhere in life, they move away from where they used to be? Because they know the snakes exist. They know what's out there. When everybody around you is broke, everybody's poor, everybody's struggling, and by one means or another, you finally make it, man. You finally gotten to where you want to be. You ain't got to worry about that no more. You living your best life. The people around you that aren't real or that have struggled, in due time, they're going to come. You're going to start to look like something to eat. You're going to start to look like a meal ticket. They'll sit amongst themselves and plot on you and how they can get at you and what you got. They'll smile in your face. Remember I said frenemies? A frenemy is your friend that's really your enemy, but acts like your friend. You're going to find yourself surrounded by frenemies. And the first chance they get, not all of them, but one of them's going to jump out there and try to take away what you've worked so hard for so that they can shine. I can't tell you how many guys I've met, man, that I know personally, that I've known for a very long time, that are envious, which is a terrible, terrible thing to be. Jealous. Terrible, terrible thing to be. And just can't figure out how I got to where I'm at today, and they're not there yet. I have one answer. It takes time. It takes work. This doesn't happen overnight. When everybody was going clubbing and they was out at the bars and they was laid up with these females and they was smoking blunts, I was at work. When everybody was chilling together, not getting up till 2, 3 o'clock in the evening, I was at work. I put the work in. That's how you level up in life. You're not going to get it by telling everybody what you're going to do. Stop talking about what you're going to do and go do it. At the moment you start doing it, you'll see the change. Yes, you're going to be tired. Yes, you're going to be frustrated. Yes, you're going to feel like giving up. But it doesn't come easy. Nobody gave me any of the stuff I have. Nobody put me where I'm at today. I'm thankful for everybody I've dealt with in my journey. Anybody that ever gave me a place to sleep. Anybody that ever was there to answer the phone for me when I needed advice. Or a couple dollars if I needed it. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I never forget those things. But when it boils down to how I got to where I'm at today, and who I am today, there's really only 2 things I can chalk that up to. Myself and God. If you want more, it is out there. Go get it. But you better damn sure make sure that the ones you are around when you go get it are moving in the same direction as you. Because if not, once you go to pass them in life, they'll run your ass off the road. Watch the people you surround yourself with. The people that smile in your face, sometimes they're only smiling to hide their fangs. Sometimes they're only smiling because they know if they appear happy, they can get in your pocket, they can get next to you. Everybody ain't your friend. Everything ain't for everybody. Know your place in life. Know that at a moment's notice, you can go from being the king to being a peasant. Know your place. But don't ever think that in the blink of an eye, you can't lose anything. I remain humble. And whether you're religious or not, you know, that's not my concern. I give all the glory to God, man. Yeah, I said it. Covered in tattoos. Just a big old fuck up in life. That's finally doing better for himself. And I'm sure in the years to come, not sure, I'm positive, I'm going to run across a whole lot more snakes. I'm going to deal with a whole lot more frenemies. But at the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from doing what I do. This is my dream. I'm going to live mine. And I pray that each and every one of y'all do something more in life so that you can live yours. But as I said, watch the company you keep. You know, they say if you got 3 rich guys and you put a poor guy with them, and he guides them in due time, you'll have 4 rich guys. You take 3 poor guys and a rich guy stops hanging out with them, in due time, you'll have 4 poor guys. Stay in your lane and watch those around you. So you already know, man, these institutions, prisons, jails, detention centers, all these things are just crazier worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones and the awesome real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Y'all know how we do. Salute.